And now, back to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod.
Hello and welcome to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod. I'm Dylan Weaver.
And I'm Andrew Sabo.
And we're here today for another episode of Hot Split Episode Summer. You're supposed to say it with me, Andrew.
Hot Split Episode Summer.
Woohoo!
So splitty.
Uh-huh. This week we are covering the B-side of Sunset Boulevard. This is episode 437B, The Long Way Home.
Aha! You know, everything's going to be a letdown after last episode. In all honesty. That was so much. And I can give this episode credit because it doesn't try to do the same thing. You know?
Sure. I'll let you know that last episode had an 87% on the wiki. This one has an 86.
Aha!
So it is.
So the people agree.
Barely. I would not call 1% drop a letdown. I'd call it a rounding error.
That you and my teachers have something to talk about.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you Dr. Ide.
This episode originally aired March 4th of 2000. Insert joke about my dad again, because it aired the same time as the last one.
Yep.
And it's written by Jim Ware. Directed by Phil Lawler, of course.
Of course. How many episodes did Jim Ware write?
Not a ton, but we've talked about some other Jim Ware episodes in the past. He's done 12 episodes total, including Opening Day, which we covered.
Yeah.
And then some other
Two Roads.
I was gonna say Two Roads, which we covered, which is a split episode, but one we already covered. A couple BTVs. So yeah.
And the iconic Where There's Smoke.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, but he's very much like a this era writer.
Wonderful.
He also wrote one of the Last Chance Detective books.
Interesting.
Which I think is interesting, if nothing else.
Wait, who founded the Last Chance Detective franchise? Was that Lawler?
I think Last Chance Detectives is McCusker, but
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. But I'm probably just saying that because I like it and I don't want to credit...
I don't want to attribute something positive with Phil Lawler.
Although, right, it was initially a video series, and I don't know that any Odyssey people had involvement with it as a video series. I'm now pulling it up because I'm very curious. Yeah, so it was not Odyssey people for the video series, and then when they later did the audio series, it was Marshall Younger who was spearheading that.
That makes sense. I knew it was one of the big guys, but none of the people we mentioned.
Sure.
Naturally. So,
but that's not what we're talking about today.
no.
Because
we have a
we got to
promo
talk
for
about
this one?
we got to talk about the long way home. Well, we don't do promos
We don't do
for split
promos.
episode summer. We might do it for our bonus episode at the end.
Ooh, yes, the old promo binge.
Yeah, but yeah,
My favorite weekend activity.
What's your second favorite, Andrew?
Sleeping binge, for sure. Let me tell you, this is a little tangent, and it's a split episode
On
summer.
this podcast?
On this podcast.
A tangent?
Ever since I started working like a legit adult job where it's like pretty much full time, going to bed early excites me. Like
I can't relate.
It's never gotten I've never gotten to that point where it doesn't feel like going to bed early is a sacrifice of some leisure time.
That's still how I feel.
But 9:30 rolls around, and especially on a weeknight, oh man, if I'm tired enough to go to sleep, that's like my dessert for the evening. That's It's so nice. If you can just sneak in that extra like 45 minutes, hour of sleep. Yeah, no. It hits different. I don't know.
Okay.
I never thought that I would crest that. And maybe it's the chronic illness in
everyone.
me. I don't know. Yeah.
Like everyone eventually becomes an early to bed, early to rise.
Is that true? I feel like night people stay night people. My dad stayed a night people.
Okay.
A night people.
Yeah, I have not had a lot of interaction with people considerably older than me who still stay up late.
No, yeah. Well, you need to talk to my dad more because he recreationally stays up past like 1.
Right, so he I would call him an abnormality, though.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, like, I aspire to that. I just don't have a job that allows for it. And eventually, like, you have to, like, if you're someone who has children, you have to adhere to the school schedule. And, like, there's just so many factors in the world working against night people.
Oh, yeah. And I do think that my father's mental health has suffered as a result of being a night person, unfortunately.
I love every time I have like an extended amount of time where I'm not working, I just fully go into night person mode and I adore it.
Oh, it's really
Granted,
nice.
my night person is never like chronic. Like I don't stay up past 2 ever.
No, that's just not... Like, why? It's not enjoyable in any way past 2 in the morning.
Actually, I shouldn't. I say that, yet like the thing in my life is always like I will make any sacrifice to like be with people.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so
that's
like
fair.
I was visiting a friend in New York a month or 2 ago and stayed up like till like 2 the one night and like 4 the next night or something crazy. Like we really went
tied
for
one
it.
on.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that is fun.
Actually, that was a past and future guest, Hannah Woodruff.
Hey,
look at this. This is
love
the
to
great
see
thing
it.
about having friends on the show.
Exactly. Our personal tangents have some relevance.
Yeah.
To the general public.
Yeah.
That is no. Oh. Yeah, no, that does also feel like a treat when you can get a couple nights where you're like hanging out with friends super late and you're like up doing something fun. That is equally as satisfying, like you kind of, stole a cookie from the cookie jar in the same way that for me going to bed early sometimes feels like.
Sure. Last night I treated myself to going to bed at midnight, which was delightful.
Oh, yeah, me too. I went to bed at like 12:15 and honestly, I wanted to stay up later, but then my body was like, no.
Oh, no. That was when I wanted to go to sleep, and I allowed myself to not go to sleep earlier.
Nice.
Because I didn't have obligations early this morning.
For once.
Yeah. I mean, I usually don't on Sundays, but...
Oh, okay. That's fair. Don't let them know when we're recording this.
Oh, no.
They'll find us.
I mean, on...
Glorp Day.
Yeah. Yeah, I normally have obligations on Glorp Day, but this morning I didn't.
Oh, goodness.
So
Mandy, Lisa, and Aubrey are at wit's end.
Wow.
And Aubrey is journaling. Oh, well, I guess this is prefaced by Aubrey journaling about the fact that she's bored.
Yes.
And she feels like the walls are closing in. Classic teenager trapped in Odyssey.
Yep. Yeah, she's such an outsider, and she's so stuck, and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this is, again, before Aubrey's conversion arc, so it does kind of play off of the Connie-esque stuff of like, oh, there's just nothing for me to do around here because I'm not a Christian.
Right. Right, but unlike Connie, she has friends her own age.
Yeah,
which is a really nice thing
nice
that they
touch.
gave her. Yeah. Yeah, like so many. Because, yeah, we get Mandy and Lisa in the opening scene.
Ugh, Misa. Misa soup.
Yeah, Nope, we're getting...
It's an excellent source of umami flavor.
You happy with yourself, Andrew?
I just watched a documentary about salt, and they talked a lot about miso and umami flavor, so it was definitely a word association that gave thing.
Wow, I'm really happy for you in that.
The audience is not.
The audience might not even know.
They might not be here anymore.
This might have been cut. You might be talking just to me, Andrew. And isn't that nice to think about?
I do love just talking to you.
You do have to lean into your mic when you say that, though, because
I do like talking to Nathan.
No. Nathan! Ouch! Ouch! Wow! All right.
I do like talking.
So yeah, and Mandy and Lisa are talking about youth group stuff, and Aubrey's like, youth group, and they're like, yeah, it's actually like fun. I don't know why you got to say it like that, and I was like, yeah, well, yeah,
same,
come on, Aubrey, like
we're normal people.
Just don't do that about anything anybody says.
Yeah, ew, rugby practice, like,
right?
What?
Right, unless it's like destructive.
Yeah, or like objectively gross, like
sure.
Ew, picking up, I don't know, cow droppings.
Right.
Like that's gross.
Yep. Yeah. But and then they're like, well, we're going to Connellsville Fun Park.
Yes. Very important.
No relation to Old West Fun World.
No, and I like how amusement is got to be like a trademarked term or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything is fun.
Right. Is that more of a Midwest thing? Is that more of an old thing? Like,
I feel like it's an old-timey joke. Like almost like vaudeville type era. Like, come to the old fun park and see the bearded lady. But yeah, it is hard to know. All I know is that Connellsville Fun Park does not sound fun based on what I know about Connellsville.
Yeah, and fun parks.
And fun parks.
But as she continues to, or like as they continue to talk, then they're just talking about like all the other stuff that's fun Aubrey makes a dig at like all the stuff, like you guys don't do anything interesting at youth group, you just do like Bible bowls or whatever. And
Mandy.
in the background throughout, Mandy's like, I like Bible bowls. I love Bible bowls. If a Bible bowl were a man, I'd marry him.
Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah. And lucky for her, Trent is a walking Bible bowl.
Amen. That's what I want my nickname to be. Bible bowl.
Andrew, what event would you marry if given the chance?
An intervention? No.
That can be arranged.
True. You know, I probably some sort of like a fall tailgate party or something like that. Like having family over, you have sports on, maybe some lawn games and whatever. That kind of cozy fall, toss the football around type gathering. That's a party I could really see myself settling down with.
Yeah.
What about you, Dylan? What party are you
I'm thinking an outdoor concert.
Okay. I was going to guess 4th of July.
Outdoor concert is a very like marryable event.
But it's very venue dependent for you.
Sure.
No BB&T arenas.
No. Honestly, for like, I want it to be like, I'm thinking more like a Longs Park situation.
Yes,
like I want it to be like
casual.
Yeah, way more low key than like a
local.
Than like some big like arena concert. Like
that I really like. That competes with my tailgate party.
Like the kind of one where you can sit with friends on a blanket and like the music's there, but if you decide to have a conversation, you're fine.
No, that's so many good memories at those Longs Park concerts. Any concert that I can play cards at without being judged makes me so happy.
There you go.
Or frisbees. Any frisbee friendly concerts. Big fans of. Okay. What's a red flag event you would run away from, never marry?
Boy, some real dark ones came up immediately.
Memorial Day.
No, I was gonna say like a Klan meeting.
True.
I'm not
Proud Boys Convention.
Yeah. There's some big red flag events out there.
I'm talking like a.
I wouldn't marry like a like a monster truck derby.
Okay. Yeah. NASCAR, I would say, would be
Like-
my equivalent. I don't think I could see myself settling down with a NASCAR.
NASCAR is less of an issue for me, but I'm like the like level of like dust and constant noise that like anything that using a dirt track is like pretty brutal. Also,
Pretty
just not
gnarly.
necessarily my people there.
Exactly. Not as many Wes Anderson fans at monster truck rallies. But maybe that's just a harmful stereotype that me and other film people have been perpetuating. I don't know. Oh man, yeah. I would have to see how Bible Bowl's doing these days. Maybe we could work something out.
You ever participate in a Bible competition?
I've attended several, never participated in. Bible quizzing was big for my older siblings.
It's very homeschool.
Oh yeah. I mean, those are the only kinds of people that are going to have the time and energy to really excel in the Bible quizzing, Bible Bowl arena, you know?
Yeah, but no homeschoolers in Odyssey. They tried that once and it didn't go well. So, then Aubrey's like, man, I really got to go to this Console Fun Park thing. Like,
It's
it'll be
8 to 6. You're going to be gone all day.
She can
no
come
kids.
even if she's not part of the youth group. No
Yep.
parents. Like,
There's
she
no
gets
church
to be-
talk, really.
Yeah, and it for her, it's a chance to get away from Odyssey, from the Timothy Center, from this like life that she's like begrudgingly stuck in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to cost her $20, as all good youth group events do.
Amen.
And so we covered that Grady episode in which like Whit pays for him, like he's like trying to get money to go, and then like Whit pays for it.
Yeah.
This one is I respect Aubrey just being like, my parents don't have the money for this, so I'm not even going to ask them. Like, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to hustle and I'm going to figure this out because I want it. And like, I respect that. Like,
kudos.
Like,
I don't think there would have been anything wrong if she did ask, but I appreciate the proactiveness of being like, I can't put the pressure on them.
Right. Like, I like the kid who is like aware enough of the current situation to like be make
sensitive
decisions. Yes, exactly, in a sensitive way. But yeah, so she decides she's gonna earn the money herself.
She's gonna sell books.
Yep. She goes to a non-Holstein's bookstore. I assume this is where Holstein later like buys the bookstore out from under this man. Is my assumption.
He plants mold in the books and gets them shut down.
But this guy's only gonna give her 50 or 75 cents worth of money for these books because he specializes in cookbooks and romance novels, and these are neither.
Unfortunately, she should be reading more romance novels. Clearly,
well, this one's got a monkey.
Yeah.
Do you know? Did you get the joke here?
No, I didn't.
So the book she's reading is called Bippy Short Socks.
Is that like Pippi Longstocking? Is the okay?
Think that one through.
Is there a monkey in Pippi Longstocking?
There is a monkey, but short socks, long stockings.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that I understand. I get that part, but I've never read Pippi Longstocking.
Okay.
Had no idea
Pippi
there was a monkey in
Longstocking
there.
was a big thing for me. She's like on an island.
Oh,
It's very Gilligan-esque.
did they make a movie out of that?
I believe they did.
I think I watched the movie. I think I might be thinking about something else, maybe. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So many. I'm curious as to whether other generations after us will have as many books about kids being stranded on islands.
I think so. I think
read
it's just
a bunch of them.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite genres. I still dig it to an extent.
Oh yeah.
Like it's the classic, like so many stories aimed at kids of like kind of your middle grade fiction stuff is very much geared towards what if you didn't have parents. So
much.
it's like a lot
Time
of
travel, magic treehouse.
right, or you're right. You've got your orphans, like your boarding schools.
Yeah.
Your
Or did you ever read Hatchet?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, stranded in the woods, like got to do it on his own.
Yep.
You've got like your Harry Potter orphan goes to a magical boarding school. Your Percy Jackson, where he's like he has a mom, but he spends all of his time at a summer camp.
Yeah, well, and his
Like-
dad's a god.
Right. Well, I mean, there's that too. Spoiler.
My bad.
And then you've got
Island
got-
of the Blue Dolphins. That was another one. I'm afraid they made a movie out of that as well.
I did not. I
Very
remember Gordon Corman did was it just called The Island, maybe a 3-book series that was kids stranded on an island. Like, but it's just right. Like that whole, so much of that genre is based around like, what if you as a child had independence?
No, yeah,
And Island is a great setting for that.
totally. And I ate it up.
And it's ancient. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's your Lord of the Flies. It's your Blue Lagoon. Like, that's
Exactly.
not like a new...
That was the
not a
book
new
name
concept.
I was thinking of was Lord of the Flies. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is all inspired by that one book where the
Yeah.
kids killed each other.
Sure.
Well, I don't think they actually killed each
Spoilers.
other. My bad.
And then what's the... shoot, there's a really well-regarded show that's airing like right now that aired earlier this year for the first season.
Love Island?
No, shoot. What is it? It's something where like a girls' soccer team gets stranded on an island, but it's set in the past, and the Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets. Okay.
Plug for a show that I haven't seen, but I've
Interesting.
heard great stuff.
It's a women's soccer team?
I believe it is like a high school girls' soccer team.
Ooh.
But
okay,
it's
that's
set,
going to be my plug.
It's set
Show I
both with them on the island
Mm-hmm.
and the adult people who have left the island, like in the future,
Mm-hmm.
like dealing with the repercussions of having been on an island.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Huh. I liked it. I that's pretty sneaky. Okay. Yellow Jackets. What's it on, Dylan? Do you know?
It is a Showtime original.
Oh. That's going to be hard for me to get my hands on.
Don't you get your student discount thing?
Oh. No,
Like if you do your student discount for Spotify, you get Hulu and Showtime for free.
I don't do the student discount because I'm on a family plan, so it's cheaper. It's like the difference between $5 and $3.
But you get Hulu and Showtime.
But I already have Hulu.
Okay. All right. It's fine. I am just jealous because, I was only a student for 2 years, so I didn't get to milk the system that much.
Oh yeah, you know me.
Enjoy it
Constantly
while you can.
milking.
That's what I've always said about you.
Andrew's always milking.
Yep. Other things that she does to try and make money, she mows the grass for what I believe to be a gay man.
I thought it was an old woman, but I think you might be right.
It's
Odyssey's
he's-
one queer.
But he's talking about Bobby used to mow the lawn until he got run over by the mower. But like the way this person refers to Bobby, it doesn't sound like this is like a child or a neighborhood boy.
This is a pool boy
This
situation.
really feels like someone who they were close with. And yeah, I'm just like that random canonical guy.
I'm adding to the canon here. Oh goodness, yeah, and he murders the lawn jockey. There's that whole bit,
yeah.
and she drives right into it, and the guy's like, "Wait, stop! No, I'll help you," and then he just gives up.
He's like, I'll take that out of your pay.
Yeah. And then she tries babysitting, which is a nightmare. I think there's like 3 kids, and they're all really young. And one of them's not eating, and the other one's like, I think, drawing on the walls.
Yep.
And they're running around, and then somebody like Looney Tunes is a china cabinet into falling over. Like, in my mind, they just ran into it, spread eagle, and then the reverb off the wall pushed it forward.
Yep.
But
yeah, well, and the wild thing, and I didn't catch it in the episode, but it's in the official guide, is the TV in the background of that thing is just the episode Real Time from Adventures in Odyssey playing in the background.
Interesting.
That's the one where like Whit and Brian Dern are like locked in the elevator together.
Yeah.
Which we need to cover someday.
That is a very good episode. It is a very memorable episode.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any firm takes, but that one definitely is seared in my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe someday we'll cover Real Time with Bill Maher.
Please, yes. That could be fun for guest season. I feel like.
Yeah.
Patrick
or
or somebody.
Yeah, there's definitely people we could book for a Real Time episode.
Time to be real.
Wow.
Thanks.
Are you on Be Real, Andrew?
I am.
You wanna link your Be Real in the show notes?
No. You
don't want to be real with the Chalk Squad?
Actually, that would be really fun. Chalk Squad, if you have Be Real, reach out to me. Twitter DMs, Instagram DMs, and then I'll add you.
Wow, he's really playing hard to get here, folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
No. I like the fact that I only follow like 6 people and they're all close friends. Did you babysit much?
No. I don't think I've ever been paid money to watch children.
Okay. Nice. Good for you. I'm glad you escaped that. Because I've definitely been in some situations that are like this. Never quite that dramatic, but
like the closest I ever came was like, hey, you can't leave the house because someone's got to be here for your brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not babysitting.
No. Well, and yeah, like the fear and chaos of having to deal with somebody else's kids that you don't know that are acting up is just a whole other level.
Yeah. No, I was babysat, was never the babysitter.
Nice. Did you have a cute babysitter?
Not one that sticks out in my head memorably as such. Did you, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. Multiple. 2 of them were sisters. But that was like, it was very much a like kids in the neighborhood type thing that were taking care of us. So like,
sure.
It wasn't very official. There were people like I already knew. I knew them outside of them being babysitters.
Yeah. But you didn't like them until they were babysitters.
I didn't want to show my hand that hard, but yeah. It's definitely an occupation-centered fetish.
We'll unpack this more on this month's bonus episode. Tune into Candid Commentaries, where we dig into Andrew's psyche of why he finds babysitters so attractive.
Oh, they're so comforting.
All right, buddy. We can keep moving on.
So Tom offers Aubrey.
No. Before that, she busks.
She does busk. She busks as a ukulele and gets paid to stop playing.
Because she's singing Waltzing Matilda.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, is that the same tune as Oh My Darling Clementine? Waltzing Matilda. Waltzing Matilda.
I don't.
Oh,
I mean,
darling.
I know you're singing it to that tune. I don't know what its tune is supposed to be.
Fair. I think there might be some
over.
slight differences there,
okay.
But they are very close in my head. I thought
Sure.
this was somebody that I used to know, Baba Black Sheep moment. Are you not familiar with that?
No.
Think about the beat of the song. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. 3. Didn't have to cut me off. Yeah.
Think up like it never happened and then change your number.
Exactly. Well, and that was something that a song I knew for many, many years, and then I realized that the theme of it and the chords are just the Baba Black Sheep notes.
It's some really good marimba.
This has been 2012 with Dylan
Now
and
I'm just
Andrew.
thinking. Well, and now I'm thinking about which I did. Probably knew. Yeah, I knew somebody that I used to know better, but now I'm also thinking about the Star Wars that I used to know.
The Star Wars that I used to know?
That was a
that
very
YouTube
good YouTube parody where they did like the full music video where they're like painting the dude.
Man.
It's so good.
Okay, all right. Link it in the show notes for the people. Let's bring back that 2012 YouTube energy.
Yeah. Anyways, then after she is paid to stop singing, Tom decides to pay her to clean the stables. She does an incredible job, and Tom gives her the $15 that she needs to be able to go.
Yeah, it's so cute, and man, I'm loving the Tom Aubrey relationship dynamic we're getting here in these couple episodes. I don't know, it's just really sweet, and he gets along with the kids really well, and I don't know.
Yep, I like Tom.
I like it because it's not as smart alecky as DeWitt, where it's
Yes.
like, you tried to do this, but you failed, so
No,
you come
Tom
to me
just
like you should have
seems-
been
right.
in
Tom
the beginning.
seems sweet and proper, and
Yeah.
he's
just folksy enough to not portray that this was all a part of his master scheme to get her to like learn a lesson to work hard or something.
right, and I don't ever feel like that's his intention. Like
No.
even later in this episode, he's not doing the wit thing of like leading her down a specific road.
No.
If anything, he's giving her the chance to get out of it, and which makes it even better. When we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get
Sorry,
into it.
I don't need to go on that rant.
Well,
now,
we hadn't said
but-
it yet this episode, so it's important to meet our quota.
of what.
We'll get into
we'll
it.
get into it. Jeez, yeah.
Otherwise, the sponsors will be coming for us.
So she finally gets the money, gets to the bus to go on the church trip.
They're leaving at 8. She gets there at 7:45, which, as every good youth group person knows, that 15 minutes before you leave is the proper time to arrive, because you're not too early that you wait around awkwardly, but you're not too late that you can't like get steaks on the bus and get settled with your friend group and really optimize the situation.
But see, as I remember it, you and your family always showed up
late.
15 minutes
Just
late. You were the reason that our buses weren't leaving on time.
For that, I do apologize. We're
Yeah,
not
it was
great at
definitely your
planning.
fault, child.
Entirely me, yes. And I have been duly traumatized for it.
Yeah. I had to text Andrew specifically today and say, don't show up early. I will not be ready for you.
Yes.
Because otherwise he will always show up early.
It's true. It's just 'cause
And
I'm
normally I don't mind it, but sometimes I'm like, I am like using all
naked.
of this time.
To be naked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm using the time for.
Yeah, it's my naked hour.
Look, the longer I can wait to put on clothes.
So they get to the bus, everything's squared away, and the other shoe drops that Connellsville Fun Park is closed for renovations.
Ba, ba, ba.
Aubrey is
Why wouldn't you
disappointed.
check that ahead of time?
Yeah, exactly. How could you not know that? Like, what?
Yeah.
And so, the audible called by the church is to go to the Timothy Center instead, and everybody's super excited except for Aubrey, who lives there and was trying to get away.
Yep. Which is where we get the title of this episode being The Long Way Home.
Yeah. Exactly. And so Tom and Aubrey then talk at the Timothy Center. Am I jumping over anything? I don't think so.
What? Yeah, no, you're good.
They start talking at the Timothy Center because Tom's like, well, I guess you didn't think you'd end up here. And Aubrey's obviously very upset. You know, she was trying to get away from everything. And Tom initially comes off as like kind of not super empathetic. Like, oh, it must be so hard to be in this beautiful place, huh?
Yeah, but he's once again, he's folksy enough that he gets away with it.
Yeah,
It doesn't-
oh yeah, for sure.
It doesn't seem mean-spirited at all.
No, not at all. No, it's more of a like
He's
wow,
just
that's
calling out the irony.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is a crazy turn of events, essentially.
Yep.
And then he proposes just the best, sweetest thing where he's like, well, I know you didn't get to go where you wanted to and you worked super hard to get this money, so I worked things out so I could take you out to Connellsville and we can go to the mall, or we can do mini golf, or we can go to the movies, so we can spend this money that you worked really hard on. Which, one, did not remember that I've heard this episode before, but had no memory of that. It was such a cute surprise. Like, I did not expect Tom to pull out the stops like that. At the very least, I figured he would, like, pawn her off on Connie and be like, oh, Connie can go take care of things.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. It was very sweet.
Yeah. And then
Billy comes up.
Yeah, Aubrey's walking around in the woods and comes across Billy, who's this girl who's just so excited to be at the Timothy Center, and she's from Connellsville, and Chicago before that, has moved around a bunch because of because she's an orphan, and is hanging out in the woods and loving it.
Yeah, she's like, oh man, like, how crazy could it be to wake up and see this beauty all the time, and there's horses and trails and all this cool stuff, like, the classic inner city kid who hasn't been to the country kind of wonder, which is really cute and powerful. Billy doesn't know anything and kind of asks Aubrey to show her around because obviously Aubrey lives there, and that's kind of established in this scene. And then Tom comes back up and sees Billy talking to Aubrey, and Tom is like looking out for Aubrey and is like, oh, well, why don't we have Connie show you around so me and Aubrey can still do our thing. And Aubrey is kind of hesitant in this moment, but she goes along with it.
Right. And then Tom's chatting with her about Billy and kind of sharing Billy's story. And Aubrey's like, yeah, she actually told me that stuff. And he's like, wow, she's, not one to open up. Mm-hmm. And then Aubrey's like, hey, can I have like a rain check? Like, can we do this another time? And Tom's like, I'll have to check my very full social calendar. Yeah. I think we can make it work.
I'll have to reschedule and check my very full social calendar, which, as mayor, I'm sure canonically it was very busy.
Yeah, but he's taking things easy these days.
Yeah. And so she goes to show Billy around. And it's such a great Mr. Riley moment.
And
then
Mr. Riley?
Mr. Riley.
Mr. Riley.
Going out, so the episode then goes out on the journaling, like the journal entry concluding, and Aubrey's writing about her time with Billy and how much fun it was, and kind of changed her perspective on the Timothy Center because she got to see it through somebody else's eyes.
Yeah.
And it's really cute.
It is.
Nice. And I actually really like this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I did as well.
From the Bible Bowl joke with Mandy to Tom being just the nicest, cutest person to, Aubrey and the kind of the lesson that she learns about, just looking at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's helping other people.
Yeah, it's a sweet episode.
Well, and I think the thing I appreciate the most about it is that Tom doesn't expect Aubrey to stop caring about her plans when Billy asks her things.
Yep.
And is very much like, oh, well, Aubrey wanted to do this thing. She's going to do that.
He does nothing to lead her to a point
exactly
of going back. Mm-hmm. He's just genuinely himself and allows and doesn't seem to he's not forcing his will on her, nor does he seem to be he doesn't react that strongly either way when she agrees to it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not blown away that she would do that. It doesn't surprise him, but he's also not it's one of those things where it's it doesn't surprise him, but he's also not Like, it didn't seem like he was expecting this to happen and just counting down the seconds till it did. And it just makes for such a good moment. And it's the thing I started to say earlier, where I'm like, I love that here is Aubrey. She is not a Christian at this point in the show. She's in this situation. She just makes like a nice human decision be like informed by some information from those around her, but not with any sort of expectation there.
Yeah, when it's not a conscious, like, well, I don't want to do this, but God said this type situation.
Nor is it a, like, it's not Tom prodding her. Like, it's her being like, oh, not that many people? Like, she doesn't open up to that many people? Well, I could be a friend to her. Maybe I'll go do that.
Yeah.
And, like, her reaching those conclusions on her own is so much better than, like, being forced into that corner by Whit.
No, and this is such a, like, I would say that this is the perfect example of how a kind of moral can fit into an episode. Because this one feels just completely natural.
It's a character making decisions.
In natural situations, not being forced either way, like given the autonomy by the authority figures around her to feel what she's feeling and make decisions accordingly.
Yep.
And what we get is a really compelling choice and a character moment where she's, reaching out to a Christian that she doesn't know, as opposed to trying to get away from everything and everyone.
Yeah. Is Billy a Christian?
Oh, not that we know. I mean, all I know is that she went with the youth group.
Right.
Bad on me to assume such things.
Yeah, and it is that funny thing where I'm like, okay, so Billy was like in Connellsville, came to Odyssey to like go. I guess they're close enough that maybe you would like meet there if with your youth group and then go back to Connellsville. It's just one of those funny things where it's like it worked out very nicely for her to be here. If she was stuck at Connellsville Fun Park, it might not like you obviously wouldn't.
That's her home turf.
Right, the same moment. But yeah, I like it, and I also it set up Billy so well that I was like, man, I wish that this was a recurring character.
Yeah,
but she's literally in this like these two scenes and doesn't even have a voice credit on the wiki. Like nobody knows who voiced her.
That's sad.
I know.
I really like Billy. Justice for Billy.
I do too. Yeah, justice for Billy.
Free Billy. My goodness.
That is the sequel to Free Willy.
She's trapped in Connellsville Fun World, and we've got to get her out. I've never seen Free Willy. I'm presuming it's all about freeing a captivated whale.
Yes, that is my assumption as well.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. But I think that's about all I have for this episode. I really do enjoy it.
That is the extent of my notes as well. It's just like, it's a fun episode. It's not... it really makes you like Aubrey as a person.
It makes you like Aubrey as a person. It makes you like Tom. I feel like it makes you like Connie. Like it feels natural in this like beautiful way that the split episodes have a really hard time doing.
Right. Oh yeah, no.
10 minutes beginning to end. Like this is
a
really
clean
good.
10 minutes that doesn't feel like we are missing out on stuff. Doesn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
Like it's just like this is an episode that's paced for 10 minutes. And once again, I think like the best compliment we've given on a lot of these split episodes is that they feel like one of two plots in a normal episode. Mm-hmm. So like this could absolutely be the A or B plot in another episode that had something else going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the other plot would be following Mandy or whatever, or Eugene doing something stupid, or like there's plenty of ways to
Eugene and Connie not listening to each other with bus directions, and that explains the chaos.
Sure. Yep. Like there's it's a story that doesn't feel like it needs to be expanded but like you're like, oh, but they could have like worked that into a bigger story.
But it fits perfectly because it feels natural. It feels like the flow of events doesn't feel forced at all, which is really nice. Big shout out to Jim Ware.
Yeah. And that's all I got to say. Andrew, you got anything you want to plug?
I do. Actually, I really, really do.
Oh, wow. Is it Yellow Jackets?
No, it's Pokemon Go.
Why is Pokemon Go back? I have not understood this. I saw a couple kids playing it at church today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because I always go to church on Florida Day.
On Florida?
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun. I started playing it when it first came out, and it was very basic. You just walk around and everything.
6 years ago, folks.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years ago, that game came out.
Well, they've done a lot of work developing it, and they've made it so that it ties into your environment really, really well, and there's always new stuff going on. So when the game came out 6 years ago, like, only certain types of Pokemon were in certain places in the world. Like, you had to go to Australia to get a certain type of Pokemon, which is fun and everything, except for the majority of the players that want those Pokemon that just can't get them. So they changed it so it's a lot more weather and environment dependent. So hot days, you can get fire Pokemon. And during spring and summer, you can get bug Pokemon. But during the winter, you get ice Pokemon and different stuff like that. And
that's fun.
And that's on top of all of the community mechanics and, it gets you out and about, walking around, which I really like as a video game. It's great with kids because it's very simple and it's one of the games that you benefit from playing a lot every day because you accumulate experience essentially that makes your Pokemon stronger. So I've been playing it with
call it
kids.
Addiction.
Yeah, call it an addiction.
Andrew,
I'm playing it with kids a lot at work. It's been a lot of fun.
Can people be your Poke friend?
They can. Let me see if I can pull up my username. Actually,
if you're not gonna let them on Be Real, they can at least be a Poke friend.
They can. You can add me on Be Real as well, but I'm not gonna say my username for that.
It's the same as his Poke name.
It's the same.
Try Andrew Sabo, and if that doesn't work, try Sabo Andrew.
And you'll be in pretty good shape. For Pokemon, yes, my username is Andrew Sabo.
How do you spell that, Andrew?
ANDREWACEBO. If you need it slowed down, tough
I'm not letting that make it to air. I'm sorry.
ANDREWACEBO. If you need it slowed down, A as in apple,
no,
N as in nocturnal animal.
If you need it slowed down, it's in it's in every episode we do. If you don't know how to spell Andrew's name, that's your problem.
Yep.
All right. I ain't plugging a dang thing.
Not after that.
Nope. How can I follow up? Pokemon, The Return.
Pokemon, go to our podcast website on anchor.com.
Oof. All right. We're going to be back next week talking about episode 438A, The Lion Tail.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Wadfam Shock Pod is a presentation of the Lidditz Podcast Co. This show is a fan podcast and has no official affiliation with Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family. As such, the copyright is ours under Creative Commons. Follow the podcast at WadFamShockPod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at wadfamshockpod@gmail.com. The Long Way Home was hosted by Dylan Weaver and Andrew Acebo, and edited by Dylan Weaver. And I'm Nathan Haverstick, hoping you'll join us again next time for more of the Wadfam Shock Pod.